Welcome back to more No Man's Sky, and it's time for us to continue repairing the ship. As we can see here, launch thrusters is going to be our next objective. Now, hopefully, you guys listened to me when I said, make sure you're grabbing some stuff. Now, first things first, we need to be using, so let me just go through kind of what I just did there. We need to press up on our D-pad. I don't know what it is on PC. I'm so sorry for anybody following that doesn't have it. And you can see that we have the portable refiner here, and it needs a metal plate. So we've got to do that first. Let's go into inventory here. Create ourselves a metal plate. I don't know what that wants me to make there. Well, he wants me to make a dihydrogen jelly, that's why. And that's what came from the blue crystals that we were gathering. I just noticed we've got sodium up on the hill. I'm going to go fetch that sodium. Be right back. Okay, and so, as I was saying, now that we've got our components made, we can put down the portable refiner. This can be picked back up with R3. It's something that I always forget to do, but luckily they aren't exactly expensive to build, so a bit of oxygen and one metal plate, which you get from the ferrite, is not too bad. So now, I believe it wants us to make dihydrogen jelly, which I think we need... Where are we? Back to the exosuit. No, we've got the dihydrogen jelly. What it wants us to make is... grease the launch thruster with dihydrogen jelly. Yeah, we've got some of that. Oh, that's what it wants. There we go. Pure ferrite. So, what you're going to want to do in here is you're going to want to fuel it with a bit of carbon. And then you're going to want to put in some ferrite. Now, I think it wanted like 50, so we'll put 60 in there. That's going to take like a minute, so go ahead and get some more carbon. Okay, so that's done. We can go ahead and take out our pure ferrite. Put it in here. And that's up to you guys, you can pick this up if you want. For now, let's just get this ship repaired. There we are. Should look like it's not burning anymore. I'll pick this back up so that we don't have to build a new one. It's up to you guys. You can keep it what you want. I like to keep it on my ship. But then again, it's probably pretty good. We'll get like a portable one. We can get one actually in our suit later on. So it's not really going to be a permanent fixture on your body. Oh, hello. I didn't even see you before. Okay, so with that done, let me just say as well, if you ever see oxygen, always pick oxygen up. That is going to be money later on, basically. So, all systems functional, so you cancel the stars. R2, we can take off. We can officially fly. Note just how much your thrusters go down there. You see that 25%? That means we can only take off one more time before we have to refuel this thruster. Right? Which needs Starship launch fuel and uranium. No, or uranium, should I say. I got that wrong. And Starship fuel takes... metal plating and dihydrogen, so it's not too bad, but it takes quite a bit. So again, as I was saying before, you are just going to want to make sure you're getting those blue crystals, because that's where we get that from. Seek answers among the stars. Set out into space. So if you hold well, it's right trigger for me, that kind of has you just flying. Circle has you boosting, so you can go much faster with that. I much prefer this in third person. Oh, I actually got a pretty decent looking ship. No, I'm joking around. Everyone gets the same one. So now we're out in space. Let's just test boost. Starship systems. If you point at a planet, we should be able to scan it with R3. L3, click it in the left stick. Come on, let me have it. And you can get around right now, but there's still quite a lot of stuff that we kind of want to sort out. And is there? Can't see. Okay, it wants us to test the pulse engine. I can't see system star station anywhere. Usually it highlights it for us. Here we go. We've got the communication. Crazy numbers. Identify yourself. I don't know what difference the choices make. Apparently they make some difference to kind of the responses you get. Do we have the rocket? Should we do? So when it comes to fighting, something to bear in mind is you actually have two weapons. So for me, X is going to be the photon cannon. If you press triangle, you can change it to the rocket launcher. And using both of them is pretty key if you want to win in the online fights. So you can see we've got quite a distance to travel here. So we're going to do the big boost. We can turn this into seconds. If you don't use speed, then you're all fine. You can do this all the way in. It will slow you down before you actually collide with the planet, so you can be pretty rough with it. But once you're in the actual more manual style flying like we are right now, you will want to avoid hitting the ground. Otherwise, you're gonna do damage to your ship, and that's not going to be ideal for anybody. Now we can move on to the next signal source. We've got lots of big red trees. Well, lovely planet. I've not been on one like this before. This is kind of cool. And so we're going to start seeing the way the pattern works here. It's going to get you to land, and it never gets you to land directly on top of on top of your target. Sometimes, if you're kind of quite Hawkeye-ish, you can like kind of look around from in the air and see if you can see any like obvious buildings or anything. And sometimes that can be pretty good. But here we are. I'm going to land here because I saw some loot. So we're going to get these yellow tubs, as I said before, are usually pretty good. Life support gel. Here we are. Projectile ammunition. We don't even have one yet. Oxygen. Microprocessor. That's going to be handy. We're actually going to need that later. Often, if you're going to get like something like that, you'll probably just want to get rid of them. They're not too bad to get hold of later, but I know that there's going to be some stuff for the quest that we're going to need to use that in. So we're actually going to keep hold of that. Get some more oxygen. Right, where am I? So, find signal source. Yes, we need to use the scanner. So this is showing you the kind of other part of the scanner here. So when you land, you kind of pull this up, and you see it's kind of automatically in the quest version. If you want to continue like scanning normally, so like you come around here, oh, there's a new monster, I'm going to scan this. You just need to use your D-pad at the bottom, and you can switch between the two modes. And you can see it's kind of telling you which way you need to go. Right, so we know we need to go over that way somewhere, which is what we're going to do. I'm going to adventure forth. Okay, and so after a fairly short walk, you see that you're getting close enough, and then it's going to do the finalizing signal. It's going to tell you this is where we want to go. Obviously, I managed to pick up a little bit more sodium, so now recharging my life support system isn't so bad. Not my life support system. Hazard system. Hello, we've got a creature here. These are like in-world save points, so you might as well always use these whenever you see them. You can craft them as well at bases, but I don't really use them that often. Not when we can just use the ship. Get navigation data, that's cool. We're gonna interact with the wreck here. And now we can make the base computer. So it wants us to start creating a base. I've seen a fair amount of people that say you should get back in your ship and look for... I'm gonna grab this oxygen here. Okay, doesn't want to let me get it. That we should like kind of get back in the ship and then spend a load of time looking for a spaceport to make our first base at. I disagree, mostly because there's an easy way to find a spaceport if you want to have one with a base on it, and there is an advantage to having one, especially when it comes to shopping for ships. So we will go over how we find one. That's going to be its own little video at some point. But for now, it is wanting us to create our base right here. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with shopping around and having a look, see if there's a spot that you want to use. So if you want to get back in your ship, have a look around, which I may well do. But I wouldn't spend an incredible amount of time on it. Anyway, let's just loot all of this. Oh, now I've got 2 microprocessors. That's real handy, actually. So, I'm going to go back to my ship, and I'm going to have a look around. And then we will start building our base. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Okay then, so, despite my blunderance, I have found my ship. It's lovely. So, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes to decide on a spot that I want to make my first base. It really isn't this important, but just in case I do happen to find something, I'm just going to give myself a little bit of time, and we will cut to me continuing on with the building of the little base that it wants us to build. Okay then, so, it appears I got kind of lucky. I have in fact found a bit of an air base, which is kind of cool. This actually looks like kind of a small one. This one seems to have less pads than they usually have. I don't exactly know what it says. We're going to land. So if you look at one of the spots, then press square on it, it should have you land directly on station. This looks way different to how I remember them. This could be something else that I've not seen before. But the best thing about having something like this is we can come and speak to these and start gaining words, okay? So if you do happen to find something like this, you want to go into your request dialect help, and then pick any. It doesn't really matter, like if you want to do anything. This is just going to allow you to know some of the words that they'll be speaking. I'm not going to show you me doing all of these. Instead, oh man, look at that. A-class ship, that would have been nice, wouldn't it? 47 million. Some of these numbers on the ships are going to look crazy. Now, you can't build your base directly on top of any of this. I suppose you can, but it's just not going to look very nice. But let's just find ourselves a nice little spot out here, look. It's not very flat there, is it? Here we go. So maybe I'll build my base out here. It's looking pretty good, actually. I'll take this. So it wants us to why has it changed to the terrain manipulator? Let me change that back. So establish a base, build a terrain. Oh, we actually do need to build the terrain manipulator. Okay. Multi-tool. So terrain manipulator. It wants a nanotube and it wants some dihydrogen jelly. Okay. I'm sure we can do that. Nanotube, dihydrogen jelly. As I said before, make sure you're picking up those blue crystals. They're useful all over the place. Oh, I need another one. That's why I thought I needed 2 tubes earlier. So just go over here, press square. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. My bad. There we go. That's done. That's actually unlocked something else for us now. It wants us to gather copper. Oh, does it? Okay. Let's do it then. Phosphorus? No. Phosphorus? No. So what we want to do now that we have the manipulator is we've got to look for these. You can see the diamond shaped. Oh, that's magnetized ferrite. That's kind of not very good. You can see. There we are. I've got one right up there. Look. That's where we're going to go. So you can see what we're looking at here. And when you highlight them, we're just going to move towards them. Now that we have this, what's this one here? That's right. Okay. We can actually go ahead and get something else that's mega important, and that is the. I just saw one pop up. They look like radio signals, as far as symbols go, and they're going to give you like a research resource, and they are very useful for later. But the thing that they're going to give you right now is access to a few extra buildings for your base, but also they're worth about, I think, like 500,000, or might be 50 grand each. Either way, it's 5 with a load of zeros, and it's probably the best value thing we can pick up right now in terms of trying to get ourselves some seed money. Once you've got the seed money to be able to start dealing with stuff and making some progress, you're pretty much most of the way there. So we're going to go through all that. That's going to be in the series anyways. Man, it's taking the pain in the ass when to get up here. Did you have to? What's that? It's going to explode at me. In any case, so once you get up here, you can see triangle is changing the mode of my mining tool now. And it wants us to get all this copper, so let's do that. Let's hope there's more than 60 here. Usually it's a few hundred, so it really shouldn't be too bad. These ores, you can always tell kind of what's ore and what's not ore by kind of like the shininess, and you do want to clear it all out, because if you don't get every last little bit, it'll keep on coming up as a signal that you want to come back here. So just like, even if you have to get some of the normal ground given to you as a part of this, just clear it out, otherwise it's going to be a pain. All this nice shiny. So I'm going to skip forward. Okay, so with that hollowed out, we should have more than enough copper. What I would advise, if you need to go further, is to make sure you've left fuel in the ship. I'm going to go over that in a second. So if you guys want to just double check how that works, just bear with me. I'll go over that in a second. And if you have one that's close, you should definitely go and pick up buried technology modules. These are going to be absolutely phenomenally useful. So for now, I'm going to grab some sodium. Ooh. And then we're going to go and dig that up just so I can show you guys. Okay, and so when you get close to these, just keep an eye on where they are, and you just want to kind of, generally speaking, have it be somewhat levelish. It's easy to kind of misjudge what your angle is when you're looking at some of these, but you want to be able to walk in and out, right? These can also sometimes be above ground, which can be real handy, but you're just going to come in, interact with that. And it's usually between 1 and 5 salvage data it's going to give us. Looks like it was a 2. It's real nice. So we can look at this straight away now. We can see, yeah, so it's 50k each. So we've got 100 grand out of that. Way more than we were getting for scanning animals. And pretty easy to get. We can use these for 2 things. You can either use these to research more buildings for the base. So you're going to want a lot of these later on anyway. Or right now, early in the game, when we don't have as much use for them, they are worth, as you can see, quite a lot of cash. Not right now, but before we kind of leave and decide we're going to start making loads of money, I reckon you probably want a good 50 of them. It can take a bit of time. So anyway, we're going to go back to the ship now. Okay, so I've returned to my ship now. And what I'm going to recommend that we do is we're going to want to make a fair amount of this Starship launch fuel, just because we don't want to end up getting stranded somewhere. And so long as this has got fuel in it, it can actually just come and pick you up, which is going to be really handy for when we start going out and exploring. So we can see here, this can take 40 dihydrogen, and I've picked up a decent amount as I've been exploring, right? So we've got 180 there. So we're going to make 3. Let's make 3 of those. Right, so we're going to want some metal plates. 3. And then we're going to make 3 of those. And we're just going to store them in the Starship. We don't need to carry these around with us, right? Each time we use this, it's going to take 25%, and now we can recharge it with this, so that we've got plenty of fuel in the Starship, which is going to be just handy. Now we'll get on with what it wants us to actually do, which is to create some chromatic metal with the copper. Let's go ahead and place that. So we're going to want the portable refiner down somewhere. So we're going to fuel it with the carbon. And you might as well process all the copper. It's rare that you come across anything that doesn't just want the straight up chromatic metal. So we're just going to go ahead and process that. That's going to take a few minutes. Well, a minute. So I'm just going to go and collect a few bits. Okay, so I've returned. My chromatic metal is done. Now it's going to want us to build a shelter. So, first thing it's going to want us to build is this. This is the base computer. This is going to claim a ton of land for us to be able to build on, basically. It doesn't really matter where it goes, but I would leave it somewhere, I don't know, that's kind of just handy to be. I'm going to put it right here like this. Claim it as my base. This is apparently an archive. I've not been to one of these before. I've done so much just kind of free roaming and exploring. A little bit of base building and stuff, and some stuff is just completely beyond me still. But don't worry, we're going to learn it all. So we're learning it all together in the stream, so it's all good. Once that's done, it's going to have some missions for us as well. This can actually like start looking up like local stuff. Supplies low, extract plans. There we go. So, now you can build yourself a little structure, which is what it wants us to do. Realistically speaking, you can literally just make a square. Especially if you don't know whether or not you're going to come back here later. Reselling stuff isn't particularly bad either. So as you can see, we can kind of come down here, just use my trigger. You can have it on stick mode or not stick mode. So you can have free place where it can kind of like go all over the place. Like you can have it floating if you want. Or you can kind of have it in, what does it call it? Non-free placement. You can see like go over here and get it to, we should be able to get it to kind of slot on a little bit like Fallout. It does it. It's really not wanting to do it for me right now though. It doesn't want to play. In addition, you don't have to, so we're like walking around as a dude here. You can see edit/toggle camera, so I can press L3 and I'm now moving around. This makes things way easier. It's like if I want to make like a square building here, it's just going to be much simpler. Circle to come on back. Let's go and put some walls on. Disappointingly, that is not a window. It's just jutting out, and it looks really weird for corners. So we're just gonna go ahead and place some boring walls on. Come on, stick for me. Now I just figured I'd cut something in here because as I was trying to like kind of build the thing, a storm came in. So long as you're under the roof, you'll be out of the storm. So if you need to kind of cut in because you've got some bad weather coming in, that's all you need to do. Okay then, so I guess this little box is what we're going to be calling home for the next episode. Might as well move this inside. That way now when we're doing stuff we're not going to be getting radiated. I don't know why I decided this one was going to be latticed. I don't know how that happened or how you can edit it. I tried deleting it and replacing it. I don't understand why it's done this. I mean, I'm happy. I quite like having windows. But I don't know what the cause was. Either way, in the next episode then we'll be continuing on with kind of the rest of the things that we need to get done for the base before it allows us to kind of move on. Should start printing out some some plans for us. Here we go. That wants us to build more stuff. Wants us to get better technology. Wants us to power the base. And wants us to create a teleporter. Which we'll be doing soon.